Okay, let's take a look at your Chapter 5 capstone assignment. So your subtotals look correct. All of the information there is organized properly and calculated properly. So that's a critical first step. Then if we go over to your pivot table, things start to look a little out of place. So let's make a couple of corrections here. So let's just start at the beginning here. Okay, so you have the type field here in your rows, which is excellent, that's the way we want it, but we don't need count of type here. You have the type field added to the values, and it needs to do something with that text, so by default it's doing a count of occurrence. So let's get that out of there. So I need to get to my type. Oh, I'm off the screen. Okay, wait a minute. I'm off the screen there, so I'm going to come on back. Oh yeah, I can manipulate it right from here. So I'm active on the field under the Analyze tab, under Field Settings. Oh no, sorry, this one. Sorry, my mistake. This one we don't need to have on the pivot table at all. So we need to get rid of it. So I'm going to click on that field, drag it off the pivot table altogether. It becomes deleted. Now if I move back, then that field is gone, which is what we want. We want it to be gone. Now the other thing we want to have is this field. You have sum of % of change in value, which isn't quite right. So I'm just going to take a look at that. It's your calculated field where we did the difference in, trying to think of the instructions in my head. We did the difference between estimated value and issue price. We tried to uncover the percentage of change there. Oh, sorry. It's just the title that's wrong. The instructions tell us to call that % change in value, I think. Yeah. Oh, you already have that name in there. So off the top of my head, I'm just looking at the instructions. % change in. All right, I'm going to hit cancel. I'm going to let that be for a minute. We'll come back to that one. Let's fix this. So you have the type field in the rows, which is correct, but what you did, so here you have type in the row area, but what you did is you filtered for the fields, so you included in the fields that the instructions wanted you to filter out. So we just need to do the exact opposite of the filter. So for everyone, I'm just going to do the old flipperoo here and change those out. Include in those, include out those. So it's like making spaghetti, right? We filter our spaghetti after it's done cooking on the stove. We pour it into the colander, which is our filter. It releases the water and keeps the noodles. So we just have the wrong noodles here. I'm switching up the noodles. And here, these are the fields that we want to see. Yeah, great. See, this is the data I was expecting to see. Correct? Average, average. Yep, here we go. And then this is percentage change in value, but what it's telling me is that that field already exists and I don't see it. So typically what that means is that you were playing around in your pivot table, and so the pivot table sees that field as having already existed and not cleared. So I'm going to guess that's probably what happened to you, is you tried to change the name and couldn't. So I'll do that on a separate recording just for time purposes. All right, let's look at the last thing, the pivot chart. And the pivot chart is constructed appropriately, but the data is still incorrect only because of the filtering in versus the filtering out. All other work was excellent. All other requirements were met for print area, formatting, all that kind of thing. You did a really good job.